Okay, so let's talk about vehicle history. This can be one of the biggest areas of savings that you can possibly have, but it can also be some cobweb of problems if you don't know what you're doing. First off, let me just give you some terminology. When a vehicle is prior salvage, that means at one point in its life it was wrecked and the insurance company said it was wrecked beyond 50% of the car's value. For it to be prior salvage, that means that a salvage dealer would have bought the vehicle, they would have brought it back, fixed it up, had to have a safety inspection done through the state, and then they were issued a prior salvage title. You also have salvage title. Now you can't buy a salvage title. I can't buy a salvage title vehicle. Only people that have a dealer salvage dealer license are allowed to buy these. These are like your parts or your salvage yards, different things. They can go into the auctions and buy totaled vehicles. They take them back, they fix them up, and then they can resell them after they've become prior salvage. Prior salvage can be registered, titled, everything just like a regular vehicle. It just carries that carries that on the title for the length of your ownership as prior salvage. What's that mean for you? That means that right off the bat, just by those words, prior salvage, that vehicle should be anywhere from 30 to maybe upwards of 60% of its value off of the price tag. So just for example, $10,000, you should be getting $3,000 to $6,000 off based off of it just being prior salvage. So that means you as a buyer, you can get a great deal on a car, but you can also get a real headache, again, if you don't know what you're doing. So I just kind of want to give you an example and show you real quick of how we do things. This is a 2015 Dodge Challenger. I absolutely love these cars, but they are way outside of my price range. So for me, exploring how I could buy some, this one pops up. This car is absolutely beautiful car. This car runs and drives absolutely amazing. Tons of power, great car. But it does have that prior salvage title. So what we looked for in this is we wanted to know, when did the accident happen? What happened? How many miles were on the car? And so this car is a 2015 with 82,000 miles. The accident happened in 2017 with 20-some thousand miles on the car. So I look at this car and ask myself, well, are there any problems that are still existing from the accident? Is there any damage still existing from the accident? How many miles has it driven since the accident? I want to know if this vehicle is going to pass the test of time, if it's still showing problems or not. And so those are the things I tend to look for. Now, one area to be careful with on these cars is just because you got a good deal, just because you bought it, doesn't mean it's going to remove that prior salvage tag. So when you go to sell that vehicle, likewise, the buyers are going to look at this car and be like, well, wait a minute, it's prior salvage. I'm not going to give you the same price as a regular titled vehicle or clean titled vehicle. A lot of people do get this confused and think that they can't buy it or can't register or can't title it. That's only salvage, not prior salvage. So make sure you do your homework on these. Check them out really good. This vehicle in particular actually was in a flood. Well, we did our research, we started looking, it was in New Orleans, and in 2017, I'm pretty sure there was a hurricane that went through there. And so it's one of those things where we kind of put two and two together that, hey, this is a nicer, newer car. It was only 2 years old when it happened with 20-some thousand miles. It may have had some, but it didn't have enough flood damage to where it completely is worthless anymore. And so you just kind of have to use your own judgment there. For some people, this works out great. And sometimes we have heard of things being an absolute mess where they just can't find problems and it just seems like it's endless problems. So prior salvage can be because of maybe they got into an accident, airbags got deployed. They can be because of, like we said, with the flood. It can be all kinds of different things. It's just whenever that insurance company deems that it was over 50% of its value, it gets that salvage title and has to go through that process. So you can save big money, but you can also get yourself into a headache, so just make sure you exercise caution. So that's what we mean by history and what we mean with prior salvage titles, history, branded titles, different things like that. Thanks, guys.